John, I know you've been watching, as has, frankly, the world. Clarissa Ward's reporting from the streets of Kabul right now, witnessing daily life now for people in Afghanistan and the capital city. She joins us now because I know she has a question for you.
You bet.
Well, I just wanted to ask you, because obviously I'm the one who's here on the ground talking to Afghans every day who worked with the U.S. military, who worked with the U.S. Embassy, who worked with American NGOs or journalistic organizations. I'm the one who has to look them in the eye. Can I offer them your assurance that everyone who has worked with American organizations will be got out of this country safely?
Clarissa, first of all, thanks for your incredibly brave reporting and the images and the stories that you're telling. We're all grateful, and we all know how hard and how dangerous that work is. I would ask you to tell them that there is a process that they can apply for through the State Department to get onto the list and get onto the manifest. And I would ask them to work with State Department authorities there in Kabul to do that. And if they are through that process, I can assure them, and you can assure them on our behalf, that we in the Pentagon will do everything we can to help get them out of the country over the next couple of weeks. That's what we're flowing in extra aircraft for. That's why we're flowing in extra troops, to maintain security at that airport so that we can do that. And I would also say, over the last, since 2005, we've moved 70,000 of these individuals. We know we have an obligation to them.
To most Afghan people that I'm talking to, John, that's going to sound like hollow promises. Can I have your word? These people are depending on you. They are depending on America. Their lives are at threat. They have given everything to work with America to rebuild this country. And now they are asking simply for an assurance that they will not be cast aside, they will not be abandoned, that America will step up and take responsibility for the lives that are in its care at the moment.
Clarissa, there's nothing hollow about the obligation that we know we have to these Afghans who so bravely helped us over the last 20 years. Believe me, nobody in the United States government, more than the Pentagon, understands that obligation to these individuals. And as I said before, we will continue to do whatever we can to help them get out of the country in concert with our State Department colleagues. We are absolutely committed to that, and we're going to stay, and we're going to do it for as long as we possibly can, up until the end of the month. Certainly, that's when the mission ends. We're going to continue to work on that very, very hard. That's why we're continuing to flow in more forces. That's why we're continuing to flow in more aircraft.
What about people whose paperwork has been turned down? This is something I hear every day. I applied for my civ. I did it all. Computer said no. I got a rejection. I don't know why. What's the problem? I worked as a translator in Kandahar for 5 years. What about those people? Are you going to retroactively go back and look at these applications again?
Clarissa, I can't speak to the actual process itself. I mean, that is not a process that the Defense Department owns. I know the State Department is very, very focused on this and working very hard to process these applications as fast as possible. The Secretary of Defense spoke with the Secretary of State last night, and they talked about this very thing. Secretary Blinken and his team are working on this very, very hard. I can tell you it has the attention of the top levels at the United States government. Nobody is just dancing around on this. We understand that time is a critical factor here. We understand that numbers are a critical factor here, and I can assure you we're working on this as hard as we possibly can.